Welcome, guys, to my preview and predictions video for both NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and, of course, WWE Money in the Bank, which will be airing this weekend, respectively. NXT TakeOver tonight, June 16th, and then, of course, Money in the Bank, June 17th. So we got a loaded weekend of wrestling. Looking forward to both shows. Have to give NXT TakeOver the slight edge. And without further ado, let's get into my preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, taking place from the Allstate Arena. Should be a hot crowd for both nights of these pay-per-views. And without further ado, let's talk about NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. I think on paper, this is a really solid card. And like I said, I have yet to be disappointed by an NXT TakeOver. And here we go, guys. Let's talk about the NXT Tag Team Championships. They're going to be on the line. Undisputed Era taking on the team of Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch. This should be a solid match. I don't think that the Undisputed Era are dropping the titles here to Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch. I like these guys as a team, but to me, it just doesn't feel like the right place, the right time for the Undisputed Era to drop the Tag Team Championships. That's why I see them retaining their NXT Tag Team Championships. Down the line, they could potentially drop them to a team like maybe the War Raiders. You got them coming up. You got Heavy Machinery. You got a number of other teams in the NXT Tag Team division. Street Profits, like them. You got the Mighty, formerly known as TM61. And the list goes on and on. So the NXT Tag Team division is certainly thriving. But I still think that the Undisputed Era will remain at the top of that division. Moving on here, we have Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream. This is going to be potentially match of the night. And it could damn near steal the entire weekend. Would not surprise me to see Ricochet, Velveteen Dream go out there and tear the house down. You're going to be in front of a hot Chicago crowd. Great to see Ricochet finally in a WWE ring, debuting at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Great debut there in the six-man ladder match for the North American Championship. Velveteen Dream. It's amazing what he's been able to do with this character and where he's been able to take it. And who knows how far it could take him. Could it lead him to an NXT Championship match down the line, potentially against Aleister Black, coming full circle? We'll see. You could go in that direction, which is why I think the Velveteen Dream will defeat Ricochet, potentially putting him in line for an NXT Championship match against Aleister Black. Down the line, maybe an NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. You could go in that direction. And I think if you do give the win here to Velveteen Dream, it sets him up for, saying, hey, I beat Ricochet. I got some momentum. I want to be the next challenger for the NXT Championship. So this match, like I said, I cannot wait for. Should steal the show, should steal the weekend, and it wouldn't surprise me if it does. We then move on to our NXT Women's Championship match. We have Shayna Baszler going in there and defending her championship against Nikki Cross. Looking forward to this match, like I said. I love me some Nikki Cross. She's crazy. She's psychotic. You never know what you're going to get from her. And the mind games that she's been playing with Shayna Baszler when she took the championship and, counted three and pretend that she won the NXT Championship, the NXT Women's Championship. And Shayna Baszler was just looking at this woman. She's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I just love the way that they booked the Nikki Cross character. And I think these two are going to go out there and going to have a hell of a match. Shayna Baszler, she's really come a long way in a short amount of time. The Mae Young Classic. Her and Ember Moon. I enjoyed their feud. And now she's just the dominant bully on this brand. She beat up Dakota Kai. Of course, Nikki Cross comes down to make the save. And here we are now for this NXT Women's Championship match. I don't think that Nikki Cross will win the NXT Women's Championship. It would be nice to see Nikki Cross hold that title. But I think this is a stopgap between now and TakeOver Brooklyn for whoever Shayna Baszler's opponent would be next. Whether that's Kairi Sane or Bianca Belair whoever you want to build up to face Shayna. That's why I don't believe that Nikki Cross is winning this match. I think it'll be a really good match, but Nikki will fall short against Shayna Baszler, who will retain her NXT Women's Championship. And then we have another match that I believe could steal the weekend, and it did last time. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Chicago Street Fight. What more can you say here, guys? What more do you want? These two, best feud going in WWE today. Ciampa. I'd say the best heel, pure heel in WWE today. Guys getting pure heat. It's not, oh, he's the heel, he's cool, let's cheer for him. Nah, I don't want that. I want to boo this guy. I want to see Johnny Gargano kick his ass and shove his teeth down his throat. However, I believe that Tommaso Ciampa will be victorious in this match. Something tells me he'll get the edge here. I don't think he's losing twice to Johnny Gargano. And this could, potentially, if you want to stretch this out, which I'd be all fine and dandy with. When I heard Chicago Street Fight, I was like, okay, because last month, we had an unsanctioned match, so to me that was kind of like a street fight already. Was hoping for a different stipulation, a first-time ever stipulation. And if you want to go the distance, and Ciampa wins here, and NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, what you could do, Gargano, Ciampa, inside the confines of Hell in a Cell for the first time ever on an NXT TakeOver show. You guys would like to see it, let me know. I think it would be, no pun intended, one hell of a Hell in a Cell match, especially considering the type of feud that these two have been having. It warrants the need for the Hell in a Cell stipulation. Yeah, I think Tommaso Ciampa will be victorious, and it will lead to one final match between these two. Then we move on to our NXT Championship match. Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. There we go. Should be an interesting match here. Obviously, Lars Sullivan's biggest match in his career. And it's going to be a big test here for Aleister Black to see if he can overcome the man that literally stopped the Black Mass kick, in mid form. That was pretty badass. He's obliterated Aleister Black at every opportunity. They really put Lars Sullivan over here as a dominant destroyer. And as a threat to end Aleister Black's title reign. I don't think Aleister Black loses here. I just think it would be too soon, especially after, building up to him winning that title from Omos at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I just don't see Aleister dropping it here. Like I said, I think he'll have a longer title reign. And if he does drop to somebody, could be Velveteen Dream. Could be Johnny Gargano. You never know. There are a lot of viable opponents. Adam Cole. So there are a lot of different directions you can go with Aleister Black. It would shock me to see Lars Sullivan defeat him here. Which is why I don't believe he will. And I believe that Aleister Black will still be your NXT champion. Should be a good match. So that does it for the NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 predictions. And now we dive right in here into my Money in the Bank preview and predictions video. So here we go, guys. Tomorrow, of course, Money in the Bank. We got our kickoff show at 6 p.m. and the main show itself will start at 7 Eastern. So without further ado, let's get into the preview and predictions for this show. So we got Bludgeon Brothers taking on Anderson and Gallows for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Not really too much to say about this match. It'll be on the pre-show. So I predict that the Bludgeon Brothers will retain their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Like I said, not a lot to say about that match. Move on here to a feud that I hope will shortly be over. We have Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley. This has been one of the worst feuds of the year. It could have been good if you actually had somewhat decent writing behind it and not guys dressed in drag, obstacle courses, horribly cringy promos from both Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley. And Bobby just comes out smiling. I don't get that. Bobby's going to defeat Sami. And hopefully, knowing WWE, we have to drag this out another month. hopefully this ends this feud, because it's felt like it's been going on for 5 years when it's only been going on for what, a month? So we then have Seth Rollins versus Elias. I'm looking forward to this match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's kind of funny how similar these two guys look. Somebody swapped their faces on a Facebook or a Twitter tweet. It was funny. But I think these two are going to go out there and have a pretty good match. I'm really looking forward to this match. Kind of feel like it's under the radar at the moment, but Seth's been on fire. Elias has momentum behind him. And I think that Elias will dethrone Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. And then that'll move Seth Rollins into the, hopefully, Universal Championship picture and challenge Brock Lesnar for the title. Now, if you want to go one step further, since Brock ain't defending the title at Extreme Rules, if you want to do Rollins versus Reigns for the number one contendership and have Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns to become the number one contender to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, there's your hook for Extreme Rules next month. And that'd be a hell of a match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Just saying, just doing a little fantasy booking on the side. But yeah, I believe Elias will defeat Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. And it should be a pretty good match, I'd have to say. I think these two will go out there and tear it down. We then move on to our SmackDown Women's Championship match. We got Carmella defending her SmackDown Women's Championship versus Asuka. At first, I was going to say Asuka would walk out as SmackDown Women's Champion. But she's been really getting the upper hand on Carmella over the past couple of weeks. And this past go-home edition of SmackDown. Which leads me to believe eventually Asuka will win the SmackDown Women's Championship, but I just don't see that happening here at Money in the Bank. I think Carmella will win with some nefarious tactics, whether it's disqualification, thumb to the eye, some type of cheap way to get the win here. And maybe a low blow. Not sure what it is. But I think Carmella will retain her SmackDown Women's Championship, having Asuka give chase, and then eventually Asuka will win the title, whether that is at Extreme Rules or they could wait until SummerSlam. But like I said, I think Asuka will eventually win, but something tells me that Carmella will find a way to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. We then move on here to, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a barn burner. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I almost forgot this match was happening. This feud has just been there. Hasn't done anything for Roman. Hasn't done anything for Jinder. I would laugh if this main event. This ain't going to main event. They would be crazy to put this match on in the main event. As far as I think who's going to win, Roman, and hopefully they move him on to something better. Like I said, the idea of him saying he's still the number one contender, Seth saying, well, I want to throw my name into the hat for being the number one contender to challenge Brock Lesnar. And then you could do the singles match between Rollins and Reigns at Extreme Rules. But I would just get these two as far away from each other as possible. Like I said, I just don't care about this match. I don't care who wins, but I think it'll be Roman Reigns who will win, and I'm sure the Chicago crowd will absolutely love that. We move on here to Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. This match could main event. I don't think it should. I think it should be one of the two Money in the Bank ladder matches or the WWE Championship match. I think it would be too much too soon for Ronda. You could main event this, but I don't think it will. However, if it is the main event, I could see Ronda winning the Raw Women's Championship. The more and more I think about it, especially with the UFC Hall of Fame ceremony coming up, I think that Ronda's going to win the Raw Women's Championship here. This felt kind of out of the blue. It's like she's challenging for the championship. It just felt kind of rushed, kind of forced. And then when I saw she was going into the UFC Hall of Fame, I'm thinking, well, maybe they got word that she's going in, and they want to put that championship on her. It would be a nice way to get the belt, some notoriety, some attention heading into that event, and putting it on somebody like Ronda, obviously, who's a big star. This will be a test. I'm not sure how this match is going to go at all. Could be good. Could be bad. Ronda impressed me at WrestleMania, but can't you do the same in a singles match environment? That's what remains to be seen. We'll see. It's certainly going to be an interesting match to watch. But I'm predicting that Ronda Rousey will defeat Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. We then move on here to the WWE Championship match. Last man standing. Hopefully it's an excellent match. Hopefully this is the best match these two have to give so far in WWE. So far, the best match they've had was their match on SmackDown compared to the Greatest Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I'm hoping this match has a decisive finish, unlike their match at Backlash. They do, both guys not making their feet till the count of 10. That would just be lame and just feel cheap. Go with one guy or another guy. Make up your mind. It's AJ, that's fine. If it's Nakamura, that's fine. I don't care. Just give me a decisive winner in this match. I want to see these two tear the house down. And as far as I think who's going to win this match, I'm predicting that Shinsuke Nakamura will walk out with the WWE Championship. I know I said that last time. I said that at WrestleMania and the Greatest Royal Rumble, but something tells me Chicago, Nakamura will become, finally, after how many times? I believe 5, 6, WWE Championship match. He will become your new WWE Championship. And like I said, hopefully this is the best match these two have had so far in WWE. We then move into the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The field is, of course, set. We have Lana, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Ember Moon, Becky, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. I've been going back and forth on my predictions for this match. Of course, I did a rankings video for the Women's Money in the Bank match. You can check that here on this channel. As far as I think who's going to win, I'm coming down to my pick. I'm going to go with somebody that is kind of an underdog, kind of not been utilized a lot lately. I'm still going to go with Becky Lynch. That is the pick that I would like to see win that Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It'll be a great moment for Becky. Will really help get her career back to prominence, relevance, because she's kind of been pushed to the side, with the arrivals of, Charlotte on SmackDown, and then you had, Asuka coming over, the Iconics, what have you. Naomi was champion. Like I said, Becky's just kind of been pushed to the side, so it would be nice to see her to get back to a place of prominence here on SmackDown Live, and I think the best way to do that is for Becky Lynch to win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So she is my pick to win. Should be, I think, with the field like this, should be a pretty outstanding Money in the Bank ladder match. Same goes for the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, The Miz, Rusev, Finn Bálor, and a member of the New Day, who I still say is going to be Big E Langston. As far as my pick, I also did a rankings video for the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Check that out here on this channel. It's still the guy in the center right here. That's my pick to win, The Miz. I believe The Miz will win the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. He's been doing a lot of losing lately, which leads me to tell you that they're kind of trying to throw a smokescreen. Usually the guy that loses a lot heading into these things kind of ends up the winner. It's just how things go. I think Miz would be a 2-time Mr. Money in the Bank winner. And I think eventually this would lead to the Miz versus Daniel Bryan feud that we've all been waiting for. So to me, Miz would be the most logical winner here. Wouldn't mind seeing Finn Bálor or Samoa Joe or Braun Strowman or Kevin Owens win. Or Rusev. Or a member of the New. Like I said, whatever direction they go in here, I'd be okay with. So, yeah, guys, that just about does it here for my Money in the Bank preview video. There we go, back here. I want to say thank you all for tuning in live to watch this video. And once this video is posted, be sure to leave your comments, your preview predictions down below in the comments section. Leave me some feedback. I want to know what your preview and predictions are for NXT TakeOver and Money in the Bank. Should be an exciting weekend of wrestling. I won't be able to do a live NXT TakeOver review Try and do that tomorrow. I won't be able to watch the show live, but I will be doing a live Money in the Bank review with NC Nerd Coalition. Probably around 11:30, if any earlier, 11 o'clock, depending on what time this pay-per-view ends. We'll be doing live reactions videos for both men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches, respectively. So stay tuned for that. Got a lot of great content coming soon to this channel, guys. So that does it for my preview and predictions. Thank you all for watching this video live this morning, and enjoy the pay-per-views this weekend, guys. Should be a fun weekend of wrestling. Take care.